Hey everyone, welcome back. Bigelow Reviews here. I am Brent Bigelow, and I have a new review for you, and that is Olivia Rodrigo's debut album, Sour. I know this album came out in 2021, but like in the previous video for Silk Sonic, I wanted to go back and review some of the better albums of 2021 since I was not able to review them. And then with the Grammys just happening and yada yada yada, it felt like a good time to review them. So Olivia Rodrigo is a 19-year-old who has the world on a string right now. She just released a documentary on Disney Plus, which I haven't watched yet, but will eventually. She just won a bunch of Grammys for her debut album and all the killer tracks that she had on there. Olivia Rodrigo won 2 Grammys for Best Pop Vocal Album, Best Pop Solo Performance for Driver's License, and a Grammy for Best New Artist. Olivia was also listed as Time Magazine's 2021 Entertainer of the Year, and then Billboard named her the Woman of 2022, which is remarkable that she's just been on this tear, and now she's with her first album she's ever released, she has all these accolades, name recognition, and it's really impressive. But the most impressive thing for me, especially for an artist so young, and when she was making this, it was 17, 18, and now she's 19 years old. The impressive part to me is how honest and how real these lyrics are from front to back. Yeah, this album kind of runs through the same tropes of just a lot of heartbreak songs and surprisingly a lot of slow songs where I thought Good For You and Brutal, how those songs were really big hits and how they're so very rock forward. I thought the rest of this album was going to be that way, but it wasn't. And honestly, I think it's a good thing that there's a little more sad, heartbreaky songs on this project than the rock ones. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to go into this album listening to a lot of soft acoustic songs about heartbreak and jealousy and envy of other relationships with their exes and all that. I just wasn't expecting to go into an album like that for this. But out of the 11 songs on this project, in my eyes, 7 of them are all acoustic sad songs. And if my math is right, that's about 63%. I did that off the top of my head. I didn't even use what's a calculator. But again, I think the most important thing on this project, like I said, the lyrics are just so good and so honest. Most today's female pop stars and pop singers are all about having fun, shaking your butt, and having a party. For her lyrics are very honest and very real, and there's not really any of those type of tropes on this project at all, which is really mature of her. But like I mentioned earlier on in this review, the track Brutal has this feel of a rock song talking about how rough the world is and how, gosh, it's brutal out here, which is a cool hook. It's really catchy and quite memorable. But the only issue I kind of had with this song, she does kind of rip off the guitar riff off of Pump It Up by Elvis Costello, which I don't know if there's an actual credit to it, but it sounds just like it if you've ever heard that song before. There's a few funny lines in here. One of my favorite ones is talking about not being able to parallel park. I know that's relatable to a lot of people, but I can parallel park. Shut up! But the thing is, though, she's not wrong. There's a lot of really rough things going on in the world, and just younger kids today, we see everything. They see all of the issues in the world. They see all the problems, and yeah, it's brutal out there, man. We gotta embrace the kids, love on those younger kids. The next song on here is Traitor, which isn't one of my favorite ones when it comes to the sad, heartbreaky tracks, but her vocal performance on this one's rather impressive. And then here we go, the massive song Driver's License. This is my thoughts on it. I'm sure everybody was waiting to hear what I had to say. Get on with it! But if we're being completely honest, I slightly resent this song just because how everywhere it was, all the TikToks and all of the stuff and mainly because it's super overly sappy. She's we're talking about all the plans and stuff that we wanted to do. Once I got my driver's license, I'm not able to drive to your house, all that stuff. Yeah, I understand how it's relatable for the kiddos, but not quite for me. I mean, but it's my review, so I can have these feelings. The story in this song is rather important, though, for me at least, where it talks about how this person's rooting for you to get through all your goals, and you guys are kind of side by side, but then once you're really there and you've achieved your goals, they're no longer there to enjoy the reward that you have after, the two of you kind of were buckled in together to go through it, and then they left you for somebody else, which is can only imagine how heartbreaking that is. Especially for a teenager. I mean, everything's volcano erupting, even though it could be something so small. But honestly, it feels like it should be more of it's so dramatic in the sense and the grand scale of everything. It feels like it should be in a play. It's that dramatic. It sounds like it'd be a song cut straight out of some form of musical. The next one here, easily one of my favorite songs of this entire project, is 1 step forward and 3 steps back. The song feels a little less detailed and a little less personal, which allows like the listener to really lean into it more and really embrace the lyrics and everything. Olivia talks about how she doesn't know which lover she's getting that day, whether like they're gonna be like an amazing person and just overall just like ooey gooey, loving all over you, you know, hugs and whatnot, or they're gonna be like, get out of my face, I'm tired of seeing you today, leave me alone, or just being a complete asshole. So like, I get where she's coming from, and I totally understand. I can only imagine how like difficult that would be. The way she sings it and how she plays it and strums on her guitar, the looseness of the song really sends home the message of the lyrics. Especially how she's like, when she's talking about how like, you know, doesn't know which version of this person is going to be there today. The music kind of picks up in tempo, it slows down a little bit. Just beautiful. The piano on it, great song. I really liked the song when I was listening to the album, like originally for the first time. But once I listened to the project a few times, I went back and did my research to figure out who did what on the project. Turns out the song was like co-written by like Jack Antonoff and Taylor Swift. Which again, like I love Jack Antonoff. And like I hate that, like I'm like, oh, this song's really good, and I'm like, I wonder who did it. I go back and look, I'm like, oh, go figure why I like it. I love this guy, which is a complete honest and true story. Like I had to make this opinion up once I found out who it was. Like I really liked this song, and then I found out he did it. So I mean, my tastes are honest. Like I know who does what, and I know what I like. And then again, another song that was co-written by Jack Antonoff, Taylor Swift, and then another key player on this one, which is Annie Clark, aka Saint Vincent. All three of them help write on the track Deja Vu. Deja Vu is a very sweet sounding song about just how envious she is and how her ex goes and does this new stuff with his new girlfriend that they used to do, and how all the similarities that they had. There's no way that the guy doesn't have deja vu, but imagining that like it's actually Olivia, but not the other girl. Great song, great concept. Olivia really sends it home. I love her energy on this track. Even the bridge, the little chant towards the end of the project, I love this song. But yeah, definitely this song, and then 1 Step Forward, 3 Steps Back are like, by far, I think, are some of the best songs of the entire album. Not like all the other super popular TikTok tracks, because that's all they are to me. I guess I'm old, I'm showing my age. And then again with the powerhouse writing on here of the track Good For You, once you hear who it's written by, you would understand why it feels this way. It was co-written by Hayley Williams of Paramore fame, and it has that like super girl power anthem that like Paramore songs have. But again, I'm not too crazy about this one. It feels like I'm in class listening to How to Make a Rock Song 101. Like I feel like it's just like a really basic fundamental rock song, even down to like the production with the guitar twangs and everything has this like Nirvana sound, even though I probably shouldn't even be saying that, but you know, it just says how it feels with how the guitar in the background kind of has this effect on it. It sounds like Nirvana. The other song in here I do like is Enough For You. Again, beautiful lyrics. Dare I say it? I'm gonna do it. Dare I say, Bob Dylan-esque. Yes, very Bob Dylan-like with how detailed the lyrics are, how just the way everything she says flows in and out of each other, and just how perfectly written this song is lyrically. It just sounds like something Bob Dylan would have wrote if he was a female in 2020. But even her performance while singing this song, she sounds like she's on the verge of crying. How real this song and how every lyric feels like almost like a prick in the heart, like somebody's like, you know, another needle into the heart. Just a beautiful song. After the track Happier, the album kind of tails out and kind of dies out to me and finishes. The song Jealousy, Jealousy seems like a Olivia take on a Billie Eilish track. If I want to listen to Billie Eilish, I'll go listen to Billie Eilish. But just the general message of the song, I'm totally here for, about all like the female body standards that are out there today and how she can't like really enjoy herself, and she's always jealous and envious of other girls' bodies when she has her own. You know, one of those things. Totally here for that message. It's a great message to have for the younger crowd. Favorite Crime is another kind of heartbreaky, achy breaky track on here. Not one of my favorites. Hope You're Okay, which is the final track on here, has a really good message, a really good story about how all like your misfits in high school and middle school, hoping everyone's doing okay. Hopefully they've kind of found themselves as an adult, found their crowd, and kind of like just became themselves. I know sometimes you kind of like, you know, ooh, that person's weird over there sitting at the lunch table by themselves. But like, you know, really leaning into that type of person who needs that type of help and a little bit of encouragement as a human being is a great message to have and I'm glad somebody's singing about it. As a whole in this project, going into it, I wish there was more rock songs. I'm glad there weren't that many rock songs, and honestly, the rock ones that are on here, not necessarily my favorites. Brutal's a pretty enjoyable song, but Good For You, not really a fan of. I understand why the kiddos love this project, love this album, and I like it too. I give it a score of 78. But what do you think? Put your scores down in the comment section below. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at Bigelow Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Biggie out.